Hi guys, Marion Emberson here for Wow Embossing Powders. I'm going to be showing you a technique that Sally from Headquarters showed me. So we're going to be using some Silver Ultra High. We're going to use our MeltIt. We're also going to be using one of our brand new colours, it's not even labelled, which is Blueberry Cheesecake. Our fabulous Wow Embossing pad and a cocktail stick that we're going to rub into that pad so that it helps give us a release a little bit later. We're going to need a peg and a foil case, a spoon so that we can put our MeltIt in there. So it's a fair size, this cookie cutter that I'm using. So I'm going to put sort of like 2.5 teaspoons full of the MeltIt in there. And then I want it to be sort of quite a glassy look. So I'm only going to use a tiny little bit of the powder. Really don't need a lot. If I want it to be a deeper colour, then I'll use more of it. But you never have to use too much. So I want to mix it all up. This is really important to get it all stirred in together. And that gives it a more of an even look when it's all final, when it's all done. So next thing I'm going to do, I need it to release from the cookie cutter. So I'm going to use the ink pad and I'm just going to rub around the inside of the cookie cutter. And I would stress, just be careful with your cookie cutters in case you've got a sharp bit on there. So make sure you don't sort of like hurt your finger at all. So go around the whole thing and just get that ink on there. And as I say, that's going to help it act as a release. Sometimes it still needs a little bit of an extra push, but sometimes it'll just pop straight out. This is actually what we're going to be making. This I'm going to turn it into a pendant as well, ready to wear as a necklace. So we're going to heat from underneath. I've sped this bit up for you. So I hold the gun directly under, and you'll see it sort of like move about a little bit, and that's just where I tip it and twist it a little bit, and that helps it melt quicker. So you can see it start going now, and we want to get it all nice and molten before we put the heat on top. So we're keeping that heat underneath, otherwise it would just blow everywhere. And then there was tiny little bits there, but they're not going to do anything, so I can put the heat on top. And then I want to get it all to the front, all to the pouring spout. So that way it means I'm going to use all of my molten liquid in there. And then once I've got it all going near that pouring spout, I'm going to keep the heat on there. I don't want to take the heat off because I want to keep it nice and molten. And then I'm just going to pour it straight into the cookie cutter. And it's on a non-stick craft mat, so you're going to find that it's just going to find its own level. So you haven't got to worry about it. I just go straight into the centre and then let it find itself. So, and it just works perfect every time. If you find that you haven't done enough of the powder, let it set, throw it back in, and then just redo it. Not a problem. So now I'm going to take a little sprinkling, and it really is a tiny sprinkling. I don't want big lumps. I just want tiny little sprinkles of the Silver Ultra High on top. And this is while it's all still quite hot and molten. And you can see it starts melting into it. Then I take that cocktail stick and then just start swirling it round, and you start getting these amazing patterns in there. Sally had done some big coasters and they looked absolutely fabulous. So what I'm going to do now, I want to make it into a pendant, so I'm pushing that cocktail stick in there. So I'm going to hold that in there until it sets, which is probably about a minute or so. And then once that's set, you always want to make sure that it's done, but don't put your finger in there. Just use something just to, you know, give it a little feel. And that come out lovely, that one there. So just lift it up. And then I want to push the cocktail stick all the way through so I can make sure I've got a nice hole in there. And there you go. Just absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful and glassy effect. And then you can just see those gorgeous swirls on there. And it's just absolutely stunning. So thank you, Sally. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye.